Word from the Lord tonight. Glory to God. I want to say to you, I want to thank you for allowing your pastor time to rest. Thank you for allowing me time to rest. I needed that time of refreshing. I needed that time to be renewed. I needed that time for the Lord to give me strategy and me be able to shut down some of the distractions, some of the responsibilities and duties that I have going on. So I want to say to you, thank you. I appreciate you. I thank you for holding us up in prayer throughout the year. I thank you for your contribution to ministry, whatever that may be. Glory to God. I just say thank you. I thank God for you, and I am blessed to pastor Whole Road Free Will Baptist Church. I love each and every one of you, but I thank you for that time and in being out during that time. The Lord began to speak to me as to what 2021 looked like. And you know, when I took the time off, one of the things that I said was, you know, Lord, I need to know what church looks like in 2021. What is church going to look like in 2021? Okay. So I'm going in it thinking that he's going to give me strategies and plans similar to what he's done in the past. And he has just totally not done that. And that is okay. That is okay. You know, God is teaching us, and he's going to continue to teach us the importance of living in the moment. So many times we can have so many plans and so many things laid out. And when things don't work out the way we expect them to, we can get all up in a ruckus. But this is going to be a season where God is going to show us how important it is to appreciate and live in the moment. Amen. So on Sunday, the question was posed to us, where do we grow from here? Where do we grow from here? This question was posed because remember in 2020, this year, we made the declaration what? That we are growing. So with this declaration we made at the beginning of the year, we have all found ourselves living in a year where it seemed as though anything that could happen, it did happen. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like anything that could possibly happen, anything that could possibly go wrong, it happened. We are all well aware of despair felt by many, the devastation, the hopelessness, and all of these things. However, as children of God, we've grown. And again, we've learned to give thanks to God in all things. We've learned that each day we have on this earth, whether you've classified that day as good or bad, it was a day the Lord allowed us to see. As I shared with you on Sunday, the promises of God are what? Yes and amen. Whatever the Lord said would be, it will be. The Lord said that there would be times and seasons for all things. There would be a time to love, and there would be a time to hate. There would be a time in which to be born, and there would be a time to die. He said all of these things would be. He said that there would be wars and that there would be rumors of wars. He said all of these things would be. He said that men would become lovers of themselves. He said that all of these things would be. And what we need to understand is that the end of 2020 doesn't mean that it will be the end of these things. For these things are the things that the Lord said would be. So many have been quick to say that they want 2020 to be over and they want it to be done with. But I submit to you, brothers and sisters, to say this. It's like when you say that, when you make that declaration, I just want 2020 to be over. It's like you're saying that you have no appreciation for the days you've been given and this last day of 2020 that you hope to see until the end. Man has somehow developed the perception in their minds that when the clock strikes 12 tonight, things are going to just poof, automatically, magically disappear, and things are going to be different. And for some, understand, for some, this new year will be different for you. It will be different for you. But for others, listen, but for others, nothing will change. Nothing will change. And that is because people want all of the new and will earnestly work for the change. There are some people who want all of the new and they will earnestly work for the change. And then there are others who just don't want to change. There are others that just don't want to change. So instead of hurrying 2020 out of the way, you still have time to consider a few things, okay? Consider what you've learned this year. What have you learned this year? You can write that down. Ask yourself the question, what have I learned this year? Okay? What have I learned this year? All right? Consider what you've accomplished this year. What have I accomplished this year? Consider where you need to grow from here. Lord, where do I need to grow? What are some areas that are lacking? Consider what you will need to do different in 2021. God, what do I need to do different in 2021 that I did in 2020? I don't want to repeat those mistakes. I want to be better in 2021. So God, show me, what do I need to do different in 2021? Listen, reflect on the good, reflect on the bad, reflect on the ugly, reflect on it all. But in your reflection, don't forget that God never changed. God never changed. Circumstances changed, but God never changed. Situations changed, but God never changed. People switched up on you. All the colors came out in the pandemic. And if the truth be known, the colors were already there. The pandemic just added pressure and made it come out. Glory be to the Lamb of God. All right? So people switched up on you. What was in them was always there. Okay? But God did not change. Those you thought would live to see the new year with you, they didn't. But God did not change. And he's still there to see you through. We are in a moment in time where we truly and authentically need to appreciate time. You can write that down. I need to authentically and truthfully appreciate time. Authentically and truthfully appreciate time. We need to truly appreciate the time God has allowed us to live. Appreciate the time God has given us to get closer to him. Some of you have wasted from March to December. Some have wasted from March to December. You've had this span of time to get closer to God because we've been restricted in some of our movement. We've been restricted in some of our movement. But you had time to get closer to him. We need to truly appreciate the time God has given us with those whom we love. Time is a precious commodity. And it's the Lord's desire that it not be wasted. Tell yourself, I refuse to waste time. I refuse to waste time. But how do we end up wasting time? We waste time beating ourselves up over what we should have done differently. We waste time living in past regrets. Yes, you have messed up in 2020. Things did not work out the way you planned them to. You had some mishaps, but use 2021 to allow God to help you get it together. Tell yourself, I'm going to get it together. I'm going to get it together. His desire is to perfect all of those things concerning you. Okay? So as I pondered this year, and where we grow from here and what the Lord requires of us moving forward, The Spirit of the Lord has spoken what the Lord is looking for. And the Lord is looking for holiness. The Lord is looking for holiness. What does the Lord require of us going into 2021? The Lord requires holiness. Therefore, we're going to focus on the call to holiness. You can write that down. The call to holiness. Lord, have mercy. Holiness is not some antiquated idea. Many have got it mixed up and messed up, thinking that being holy is dated and it goes back to the old saints. But I submit to you tonight, holiness is very real and it is very, very relevant for the saints of today. Without holiness, no man shall see the Lord. Okay? So I want you to turn with me to 1 Peter. Chapter 1, verses 13 through 16. I want you to write that down. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 through 16. And I'm going to read from the Message Bible because, you know, the Message Bible comes quick and sharp with it. And I love it. It just lays it out. It leaves no room for interpretation. It lets you know what it is, and that's what it is. So 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 through 16. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 through 16 from the Message Bible. Okay? By the way, this verse is our key text for 2021. Write it down. We don't know what church is going to be looking like in 2021, so you may not get a t-shirt. Write that down. Glory to God. Write it down. Amen. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 through 16, the Message Bible. This is what it says. I love this. So roll up your sleeves is what it says. Put your mind in gear. Be totally ready to receive the gift that's coming when Jesus arrives. Don't lazily slip back into those old grooves of evil, doing just what you feel like doing. Lord, have mercy. You didn't know any better then. You do now. As obedient children, let yourselves be pulled into a way of life shaped by God's life, a life energetic and blazing with holiness. God said, I am holy, you be holy. Amen. So that's 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 through 16 in the Message Bible. And so, people of God, tonight there is the sound of the alarm, and that sound is a call to holiness. It's a call to holiness. I asked the Lord why this is so important to him. The Lord said, Lord have mercy. Listen at this. Many want the Holy One, but they don't want to live holy. Many want the Holy One, but they don't want to live holy. What is God saying? Many want the benefits of me, he says. They want the benefits of my grace. They want the benefits of my mercy. They want the benefits of the breath and the air that I put in their body for them to live. But with each passing day, they lack the desire to live holy. Write that down. I need to live holy. He said they want the Holy One, but they don't want to live holy. People lack the desire to live holy. God, give me the desire to live holy. Tell yourself that. God, give me the desire to live holy. This is the season where there is no room for compromise. This is the season in which if you want to survive, listen, if you want to survive, if you want to overcome, if you truly want to experience the things of God and be in the will of God, then you must choose holiness. If we are to be people of the Most High God, then holiness is required. Listen at what Hebrews 12:13-15 says. Just write that down. You ain't got to flip there. I'm going to read it to you. Hebrews 12:13-15. It says, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. Verse 14 says, follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. Verse 15, looking diligently lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness spring up to trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Follow peace with all men and holiness. Without that, no man shall see the Lord. Everything about 2021 and how well you navigate through it will depend on the choice you make, whether or not you're going to live holy. So how does one get to a place of holiness in God? All right. So this is the first thing. Be intentional in your walk. Lord have mercy. Be intentional in your walk. And I want you to write down 2 Corinthians 5:16-17. Be intentional with your walk. That's the first thing. 2 Corinthians 5 verses 16-17. Be intentional in your walk. If you say that you're saved, then your salvation should exude itself when others come in your presence or when you walk into theirs. What are you saying, Pastor? What I'm saying in essence is that something is supposed to be different about you. Something is supposed to be different about you. 2 Corinthians 5:16-17 says, therefore, henceforth, know we no man according to the flesh, yea, though we have known Christ according to the flesh, yet now henceforth we know him so no more. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is what? He is a new creature. Tell yourself, I'm a new creature. He is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Declare for yourself, I will be intentional about my walk. Glory to God. All right. Number two, mind what you say. Lord have mercy. Mind what you say. Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Living holy requires having a language that honors and glorifies God. You got to mind what you say. Use the right language. Use language that honors and glorifies God. Use the right language to speak life to whatever needs to live and speak death to whatever needs to die. Glory to God. Hallelujah. Number 3, be ready to work. Be ready to work. And your scripture reference is from our text tonight. The text tonight from the Message Bible explains this to us. It says again in those beginning verses, so roll up your sleeves. Y'all know what that looks like when you're getting ready to really put in some work. You don't want anything obstructing your ability to work. Roll up your sleeves. Get rid of anything that's going to interrupt or obstruct your ability to get the work done. You got to be ready to work. Be ready to work. It says, roll up your sleeves, put your mind in gear. Be totally ready to receive the gift that's coming when Jesus arrives. Be ready to put in the work. It will take living a holy life that's pleasing to God. This work will involve a change in your mind. It will involve a change in your mind. People that don't want to live holy, it ain't made it up there. Ain't nothing changed up there. But when you get that word on the inside of you and you have spent time with God, something about you won't change. Something in your mind gets renewed. So it starts or it involves a change in your mind. This change happens when your mind is renewed with the word of God. You can't put your mind in gear to receive the gift that's coming when Jesus arrives if you haven't taken the time to read about the gift. How can you put your mind in gear and be excited about the gift when you haven't taken time to read about the gift? Haven't taken time to study about the gift. Haven't taken the time to spend time with the gift. This is another instance where people want the Holy One, but don't want to live holy. We got to take the time that is required. If 2020 has taught you nothing else, it should have taught you the importance of spending time daily with the Lord. This has been, and I mean, life is already unpredictable. You know, we get that. But this year has been greatly unpredictable. So if 2020 ain't teach you nothing else, it should have taught you the importance of spending time daily with the Lord. This 31-day consecration fast that we're about to go into, it's all going to lead back to the work. Amen. Tell yourself, I'm ready to work. I'm ready to work. Where you at? Roll your sleeves up. I'm ready to work. Glory to God. All right, number 4. Don't go back. Don't go back. Our text tonight, that's your key point. Our text tonight speaks to this as well. And it reads, don't lazily what? Slip back. Don't lazily slip back into those old grooves of evil, doing just what you feel like doing. Some folk will tell you, I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to do what I want to do. The Lord says, don't go back to that. You didn't know any better then. You do now. Glory to God. Remember, you grown up some. You didn't know any better then, but you do now. There's an old adage that says, when you know better, you what? You do better. People of God, it's just time to do better. It's time to do better. If you know the relationship was toxic, listen, let me be real with you for a minute. If you know the relationship was toxic and it hindered you from a lifestyle of holiness, don't go back to that. Don't go back to that. Don't even fool yourself into thinking, well, I'm just trying to be the light, and honey, he dragging you straight down. You need to let it go. You are not their Messiah, nor are you their Jesus. Let it go. Don't go back to that. It is hindering your desire to live holy. If that habit was toxic and it hindered you from a lifestyle of holiness, don't go back to that. Don't go back to that. If that job was toxic and the Lord gave you a way out because it hindered you from a lifestyle of holiness, don't go back to that. I don't care how much money they're trying to offer you to come back. I don't care how much better they tell you that it is. If the Lord delivered you from it and he told you not to go back, you keep your peace. Don't go back. Live in holiness. Amen. Number 5. Listen. Holiness is not about you trying to be perfect. It's not about you trying to be perfect the way man sees perfection. That's not what this is about. The enemy will fool you with that. He'll fool you with that. You are in this flesh, which makes you subject to falter. But what it does mean is that you are intentional about allowing the Lord to perfect those things concerning you. It doesn't mean that you are perfect, but you are intentional about allowing the Lord to perfect those things concerning you. You're intentional, you are repentant, and you yield yourself to the work the Lord needs to do in your life. It means you are intentional about your sanctification. It means that you want to be set apart. You want to be set apart. Okay? It means you truly desire to live out Romans 12:1. Write down Romans 12:1. This is what you're trying to live out. Paul writes this. He said, I beseech you, brethren, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you do what? Present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. Glory to God. You just trying to live right. You just trying to live holy. And to do that, you've got to yield your members. You've got to yield your very being to God. All right, number 6. Brings number 6. Your life is not your own. Your life is not your own. Your life is not your own. 2021 is the year that you truly recognize that when you gave your life to the Lord, your life was not your own, but it is hidden with Christ in God, and in everything about you should be leading back to God. Everything that we say, everything that we do, every place that we go, everything about us should lead back to God. You do nothing on your own except the Lord enables you to do it. Write down Acts 17:28. Acts 17:28. Acts 17:28. It says, for in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. In him we live, move, and have our being. Tell yourself, my life is not my own. Glory to God. Last thing, number 7, walk in obedience to God. If 2020 ain't taught me nothing, it has taught me to obey the voice of God. I couldn't be concerned about what people thought, what they figured I should do, what they figure how they figure I should behave, how they figure I should handle certain things. All I had to lean on was the voice of God. And I determined in my mind and in my heart that I would obey him at all costs. To live a life of holiness requires obedience to God. Our obedience to God measures our love for God. Did you know that? Our obedience to God measures our love for God. Again, our text tonight in the last few verses, it says, as obedient children, let yourselves be pulled into a way of life shaped by God's life, a life energetic and blazing with holiness. God said, I am holy, you be holy. Your obedience to God measures our love for God. What did he say in the Bible? He says, if you love me, then you're what? Keep my commandments. We show our love for the Lord by our obedience to him. If we are going to be pulled into a way of life shaped by God's life, a life energetic and blazing with holiness, then we must walk in obedience to him. Tell yourself, God, I choose to obey. I choose to obey. Glory to God. And I want to share this with you. One of the last things the Lord spoke to me concerning this message tonight and giving us our segue into the new year. One of the things he spoke to me earlier this afternoon, he said, let them know this. He said, let my people know this. He said, if you would avail yourself and commit to a life of holiness, this would be the year you would experience the blessings of dwelling in the secret place. For the longest time, the people of God have often wondered what David meant when he talked about the secret place. For so long, the people of God never truly connected to the secret place. But he says, if you avail yourself and commit yourself to a life of holiness, this would be the year you would experience the blessings of dwelling in the secret place. What does it mean to dwell? That means to live there, to reside there. That's your place of residence, the secret place. For he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall what? Abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Glory to the Lamb of God. It is a call to holiness. This is the Lord's will for 2021. Will you answer the call to live holy? Will you answer the call to sanctify yourself and present your body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God? If you want this to be the year that you experience the fullness of God, then you are admonished tonight to accept the call to live holy. And if you're on this line and you're not saved, and you desire to take this last day of the year to give your life to the Lord, we offer you the awesome gift of salvation. If you're here tonight on this line and you want to receive Jesus Christ as your Lord, or if you're on this line and you simply want to rededicate your life to the Lord, just repeat after me. Lord Jesus, I come to you in need of the precious gift of salvation. I am a sinner in need of a Savior. Lord Jesus, I believe you are the Son of God. I believe you died on the cross for my sins. I believe the Lord, that God has raised you from the dead. And I believe that one day you shall return. Lord Jesus, I ask that you would come into my heart and save me. Thank you, Lord, for saving me. Glory to God. Hallelujah. This is the year. There is a call to live holy. Declare to yourself tonight, I choose to answer the call to live holy. Glory to the Lamb of God. Hallelujah.